Disease symptoms in budgies and parrots. Feather fluff. Feather fluff of your birds is the most common sign of illness. The family of budgerigars and parrots comes from birds that live in warm climates. Therefore, if your bird is in a cold environment, it may fluff its feathers as a sign of chill. However, if there is a long-term fluff problem and it has not disappeared for at least 2 days, this may be a symptom of another internal organ disease. Since it can be a symptom of diseases such as a body tumor other than a cold, attention should be paid to the bird's relief. Your bird is restless. Unusual movements in your bird or constant chirping without being silent appear as a sign of restlessness. The budgerigar flutters and sings so much from time to time that it may eventually become weak and pass out. The main reason for such movements is stress. If the budgerigar is not accustomed to its environment or does not feel safe in the place where it is, it may act in such a way that it shows that it is desperately restless. Your bird does not stand on perch. Birds standing at the bottom of the cage are among the most curious signs of illness. If your bird is constantly trying to stay at the bottom of the cage instead of standing on its perch, it is a sign of illness. This behavior can often occur for a number of reasons. The first of these is that the bird's wing was broken due to any accident or foreign body intervention. When the bird is unable to fly, it descends to the bottom of the cage to secure itself and cannot go up from here. Wing fracture is sometimes visible, but in some cases it may not be apparent at first glance. In such cases, it is useful to go to the veterinarian without wasting time. Fecal problems in birds. Fecal symptoms in your birds are extremely important to understand disease in advance. In some cases, when stressed, the budgerigar may defecate harder than usual or become constipated. In addition, giving poor quality feed other than stress can cause constipation due to digestive problems in budgerigars and the feces remains stuck in the bird's breech. Dirty and neglected feathers around the breech may cause the bird to experience fecal problems in various ways. In such cases, it is necessary to keep the bird away from stress, to choose the feed carefully and from quality feeds, and finally to pay attention to the feather cleaning of the bird. When acted consciously in this way, the fecal problems that can be seen in birds are minimized. Fecal adhesion. Fecal obstruction may occur frequently in female birds during the laying period. At this stage, it is important for bird owners to regularly monitor bird droppings. Because changes in the bird's feces can be a sign of important ailments. Especially during the incubation period, if the bird lays on its eggs, problems of fecal sticking may occur frequently. In such cases, it is important for health to control the bird at regular intervals and make the necessary interventions. Diarrhea. Diarrhea problem in birds is among the most common disease symptoms. If a budgerigar is kept in a damp environment and has a cool habitat, its droppings will not solidify. At the same time, liquid stool, which is a sign of diarrhea in the budgerigar, may manifest itself as a sign of weakness in the bird. When you see such liquefaction in the feces of your bird that you care for at home, it is recommended to consult the veterinarian as soon as possible and use the necessary drugs and vitamin supplements. Colored stool. Since the color of feces in birds shows the best signs of certain diseases, it should be constantly followed by both experts and bird lovers. In some cases, the color of feces may differ from usual in birds experiencing stress. For example, the gray color of the bird's droppings may indicate the onset of pancreatic disease in the bird. Apart from this, the risks of diseases that your bird may experience according to the color of the stool are as follows. Red stool indicates intestinal diseases. Light green stool indicates liver disease. Yellowish stool is a symptom of diarrhea and colds. On the other hand, red-colored stool may occur from time to time in relation to the foods he eats. In addition, if your bird's feces are not homogeneous or undigested feeds are seen, there is a risk of parasites in this case. The feces of budgerigars, which are parasites in the digestive system, are not consistent and may come out with the feed. Vomiting problem. Vomiting may occur differently in each sick bird. In general, bird vomit is liquid. The marks that are normally seen in the beak and chest area are a sign that your bird has vomited. Apart from that, you can witness how your bird vomits by observing. If the bird vomits, which indicates various digestive problems or internal diseases, a specialist veterinarian should be consulted without delay. Nasal congestion. Nasal congestion in birds is one of the most common diseases. As it is known, caged birds do not have dry or liquid substances in their nose, regardless of whether they are female or male. Your bird's nostrils should be wide open and visible. If you see substances such as a blockage or infection in your bird's nasal cells, you should suspect that it is a sign of disease. In such cases, it would be beneficial to urgently supplement your bird with vitamin C. Fever symptom. Fever problem in birds can be seen in the common cold. However, to understand if your bird has a fever, you must first know the bird's normal body temperature. If your bird's feet are warmer than normal, it may be a sign of illness in some cases. Sometimes, the feet may become warm because the body temperature rises in birds that move and fly a lot. In addition, the body temperature of overweight birds is higher than normal. Other than these criteria, if you think your bird is warmer than normal, you may need to look for other signs. If your bird has signs of weakness or blistering accompanied by fever, this may indicate kidney disease. In such cases, the nearest specialist veterinarian must be examined. Having cold feet. Your bird's cold feet symptom is common, especially in older birds. If you notice that your bird's feet are colder than usual when standing in your hand, you may need to suspect illness. If the bird's feet are both very cold and your bird looks sluggish, it may be sick. In some cases, after taking a bath in cold water, the feet may feel cold for a while. However, the cold feet of birds after bathing is temporary. If you notice weakness in fluffy feathers along with a prolonged cold, your budgie may have an infection. Eye sores. Your bird's eye may be sore or swollen. This problem, which can occur for various reasons, may basically indicate that your bird has an infection. Because the area around the eyes of birds should always look dry and healthy. If you see a wound that attracts your attention, it is recommended to seek help from a veterinarian as soon as possible. Eye sores, which usually stand out among the disease symptoms of birds, are considered the most important symptoms of viral diseases. Please subscribe to my channel to support me and learn more about your birds.